You are David Parfitt.
I am. So I'm David Parfitt, and I'm an independent producer from London.
And also an actor, I saw.
A long time ago. Yeah, I was a child actor.
Wow.
And then up into my into my 20s, but by then I was mainly producing.
Okay.
So I stopped acting in my 20s.
Okay. So why did you make the switch from acting to producing films?
The honest truth is control. I think that actors, unless you're a superstar, don't have much control over their careers.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a long time, and I partnered with another actor, Kenneth Branagh, and the idea was that we wanted to take control of our own careers.
Yeah.
Him obviously as an actor, director, producer.
Wow.
And me as a producer.
Wow, cool. So I did a little bit of research, and I saw that you produced films like Shakespeare in Love and Much Ado About Nothing. So can I say that Shakespeare is a very big inspiration of yours? Yes,
I mean Shakespeare is a huge inspiration, I think, to many people, including writers and actors.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the big inspiration is theatre. So a lot of the work that I've been involved in it came out of theatre.
Wow.
So obviously the Shakespeare stuff,
yeah.
And Shakespeare in Love was, you know, a backstage story really about theatre.
Wow.
Things that are still relevant now.
Yeah.
And then also things like Madness of King George and The Father were also plays.
Okay, wow.
So theatre is my thing.
Theatre is your thing. Well, theatre is beautiful. I agree with that.
Great.
So, well, what was your first play that you read by Shakespeare?
First play that I would have read would have been Romeo and Juliet when I was at school.
Cool.
So I think that was the first that I remember reading. But of course, I mean, as we know with Shakespeare, it's not really designed to be read. It's designed to be performed. Exactly. And I think that initially, looking at Romeo and Juliet, I was thinking, this is hard. But of course it's not. You know, as soon as it's performed, it's really easy and a completely universal language of theatre. Yeah. You know, so that's why I continue to love it. And then after Romeo and Juliet, I performed in Macbeth as young Macduff.
Wow.
So I got to know that play really well when I was about 13, maybe.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah, I was acting from 12.
Wow. Okay then. So, wait, let me see. Well, what play do you actually like the most of his?
That's a really difficult question.
Hard question,
right? I suppose I would probably have to say Hamlet, because I think that's got everything.
Okay, what do you like the most about the play?
I suppose it's about the human condition, and I think that everything that's talked about in Hamlet still relates to us today.
I agree.
You know, about grief and families and love and sanity and insanity. Oh yeah. You know, I mean, it's got everything in it as a play. It's fabulous.
I agree with you. Shakespeare was a genius.
Yeah.
Like, he really was.
Completely.
Okay, let's see. So, how do you feel about the nomination? Did you expect it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, not at all. I'd had contact from the awards a year before, inviting me to come out, but I was not available. And then they came back, and I thought, oh, okay, there's something interesting here. And yeah, so they've offered me this, which is lovely.
They really wanted to give you credit for all your work.
Oh, yeah, so maybe. Anyway, it's very nice. I mean, I always think of us as producers as, well, we are behind the scenes. There's not any celebrity involved, which I really like. So it's not very often that you're brought to the fore like this. So that's interesting.
I can imagine. Also, by the way, I haven't said it yet, but you're nominated for a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I am. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
But with some very lovely other people. You know, so people who I know, which is great.
It's so cool. So, what production that you have produced are you the most proud of?
God, these are really difficult questions.
Really difficult, I'm so sorry. It was not my intention.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, it's always interesting. I mean, I always say that the production I'm proudest of is the one we've just finished. And I think that you learn new things on every production. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it, there are always new discoveries. And so, you know, a couple of years ago we did The Father, and that was, you know, a big voyage of discovery for me, and watching some incredibly talented performers completely control a space, and having a set as a character, which is unusual. And that I found really quite inspiring. But then more recently I've done a one-act, one-woman opera, which is just a beautiful piece of performance, performed entirely live, which is unusual for opera singers on film.
Okay.
And it was called La Voix Humaine, and it's incredible. So nobody will have seen that. So I can say that nobody, and I take no credit for it. It's just about watching this beautiful central performance.
Yeah.
And a soprano at the top of her game, both as a singer and an actor.
Wow, that must be a very difficult task to do. But
especially in a one-woman piece.
Wow.
There's no other characters, just her and an apartment and a telephone.
Hey, that's difficult.
It is, and she was incredible. Danielle Denise.
Danielle Denise.
Who needs looking up.
I will look her up.
Do.
Thank you. So let's see. And what is your favorite genre of movie that you like to produce? Do you have one?
It's easier for me to say what I don't produce.
Okay.
So my rule is always things that I would like to see myself, and you know, I've got very broad tastes. I probably exclude horror.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I have no interest in. But if somebody came to me with a science fiction project or an action movie of some sort, I would be, if the script was good, I'd be interested.
Okay.
So it's all about quality of writing for me.
And what do you look for whenever you get a screenplay before you decide to start and produce it? What does it have? What does it take?
It has, I mean, obviously it has to engage me very, potentially quickly, in that I always feel that if it hasn't grabbed me in the first maybe 20 pages, it's not going to be for me. But I think that's the same for moviegoers too. If you sit there and the first 20 minutes don't work, it takes a lot to get you into the movie after that.
Yeah.
And so it has to be something that makes me want to turn the page.
It has to be captivating from the very first few pages.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of time for setup, but 20 pages, that's 20 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
So you have to be engaged well before then.
I agree, I agree.
So
what are some talented directors or maybe co-producers that you work with?
So sorry, sorry, say that again.
What are some talented?
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
Directors or co-producers.
Well, it's really interesting. I think again, producers rely on incredible talent around them. You know, we're the people who bring people together. You know, my job is to find the right material and the right talented people to be engaged with that material. Yeah. That can be director, obviously writers, but also composers and production designers and actors. And so all the people who I bring in, I think of as incredibly talented, and it would be really hard for me to put one above another. But it's what we do, is just gathering that talent and bringing them together and getting them to work as a unit.
Yes.
That's my job.
And what's the hardest part of the job?
Raising money, always. It's always money.
I can imagine.
It's the least interesting part to me. Obviously, I want people to make their money back if they invest. And I try to do projects that I believe will be commercial. But obviously, it's the hardest part, is raising money.
It always is, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. But part of the job.
Can imagine. Okay, let's see. What other questions do I have? What would you say to your younger self, being where you are today? What advice, maybe?
Yeah, that's very interesting. And how young? I mean, I think I knew by the time I was maybe 15 that I didn't want to be an actor. I would say maybe I perhaps could have made bolder decisions in those late teens, you know, between 16 and 20, maybe pushed harder to get into production. But there again, I probably wouldn't change anything, because where things fell for me in terms of partnering with Kenneth Branagh and on from there could not have worked better. I've been very, very lucky. So I'd say to my younger self, do exactly what you did, really.
I think that's beautiful advice.
Mistakes as well, you know, mistakes are important.
You learn from them.
Of course. It's very, very important to fail.
That's true.
And, you know, I've always had ups and downs in a career, both as an actor and a producer, and moments where you think, you know, this is terrible. Yeah. But there's always the ups. And so overall, I'm very happy with that.
The ups, that's what counts.
Yeah. And no, I like the downs too. You know, in a weird, perverse way, I like the downs too.
Well, I agree with you. You kind of have to experience the downs in order to really enjoy the highs that you have. I think
so. I absolutely agree with that.
Let's see. So, well, yeah. I think that those are all my questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Unless there's something else that you wanted to share with us.
No, I think that is all good for me. Okay.
What are you looking forward to the most in these 2 days?
These 2 days, always getting to know new people.
Yeah.
So
networking.
It's great to be back in Amsterdam. I've only been here as a tourist, and so it's lovely to get some time to, you know, in a relaxed way, to wander around the city, which is terrific. Yeah, it'll be nice to meet new people.
What do you like the most about Amsterdam so far?
What do I like the most? It's a gorgeous city. I mean, the museums and the culture are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I could spend a month here easily.
Please do.
Thank you.
Please do.
I'll be back. I'll definitely. We've done a lot of time generally in the Netherlands, and always had a really good time. And so. But I haven't been to Amsterdam for maybe 10 or 12 years, so this is nice.
Wow. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you as well, David.
Thank you.
Thank you for your honesty and all the questions that you answered.
Okay.